welcome back to my channel. My name is Elina if you're new here, and today I want to talk to you about my honest review of Liforme yoga mats. Are they worth it? They're super expensive. If you're into yoga or any type of movement practice and you spend a lot of time on Instagram, you've seen Liforme yoga mats. So are they worth it? Is it worth the investment? Are there other brands that are just as good? And yeah, would I recommend that you make the investment or not? How long do they last? How is the grip? How are they to travel with? And if you're new here, please hit subscribe. And if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. It'll help other people like you find it as well. So let's dive right in. I have a 500-hour yoga teacher certification. I move my body every single day. I do Pilates, I do Barre, I do weightlifting, I do a little bit of calisthenics I've gotten into, some handstands, all kinds of things. I spend so much time on my mat, and I have tried tons of brands, tons of different price points, and this is going to be my completely honest review of Liforme yoga mats. Now, I am not sponsored by them at all. This is completely just my own opinions, so I'm gonna give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I hope this can help you if you're thinking about investing in a Liforme yoga mat. First things first, Liforme yoga mats are very, very expensive. I think right now, their newer ones with the more fun designs are around $180, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of crazy. They used to be way cheaper back in the day, but with inflation and just, I don't know, their popularity, I guess, they've gotten really, really expensive. And they have some different price points. If you want their more basic ones with the basic designs, like no frills and no, not so many different colors, they're a little bit cheaper. I think they're $140 for the standard ones. But again, if you want one of the newer, like really nice designy ones, then I think the price point is upwards of $200. And then they of course also have their new concept of the personalized yoga mats, which I have not invested in one of those because I just don't think it's worth it for me, and I think that the designs that they have are pretty sufficient. I don't need to design my own, but it could be a fun gift, or for yourself or somebody that you love, perhaps. Could be a really fun kind of thing to have their name on it and stuff, of course. So but those are even more expensive. I'm not sure, I'm gonna look up the price and put it here, but I know that they are even more expensive than the super nice designy ones. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things to look for when it comes to yoga mats. So the thickness and the grip are super, super important. So the grip of the Liforme mats, I have to say, is absolutely unparalleled. I have tried the Aloe yoga mats, I've tried Gayam yoga mats, I have tried Lululemon yoga mats, I have tried no-name Amazon yoga mats. Nothing beats the Liforme yoga mats. I've also tried the Manduka, I think they're called. They're in a lot of studios, and the Liforme grip is absolutely amazing. And the reason that, so I buy a lot of Liforme mats. I don't know if you can see, but I'm sitting on 3 of them right now. I actually have 4 in here. I absolutely love the grip, and that's why I buy them. So I do some handstands, I do, when I do Pilates or some flowy stuff, or even some dance moves or whatever I'm into at the moment, the grip just helps me so much, both for my foothold, but also for my hands. And I just love the feeling of being able to grip the mat. It's absolutely amazing. I would highly recommend them based on the grip. So 5 out of 5 based on the grip. For the thickness, so they actually have 2 different, I think they have 2, maybe they have more now, I'm not sure, but they have a travel mat and they have their regular mat. So when I practice at home, I use the regular mats. It's a little bit more cushiony. I think it's a 5 millimeter, and then their travel mat is about 3 millimeters. I'm just looking at it right now. I think it's something like that. And so the regular mat is cushiony. It's not too cushiony though. So if you're doing things like plank or anything that's not just passive stretching, but more of a workout type thing where you're like balancing on one leg or bearing weights on your hands or bearing a weight on your hands, I wouldn't necessarily want something too thick, because then it can make it too unstable, which can be not so great for your wrist and ankle joints. So I think they are the perfect thickness for like an at-home practice, whether you're into barre or Pilates or yoga or whatever you like doing. I also am a big fan of their travel mat, because I will say the thickness of the regular mat, it makes it very heavy. So you can't really, it's hard to travel with, and you can't really fold it up, and so you have to roll it, and there's no way you can get it in a suitcase. It won't fit in even the largest suitcases. You can't really, you'd have to take it in the travel bag, but then if you're flying and you have limited hand luggage, like, it just becomes really complicated. I actually shipped my mats when we moved, a couple of years ago, my husband and I moved from the US to Sweden and Europe, and then we moved back again like a year later, and I just packed all of my yoga mats basically in a box, and I shipped it over there because I just couldn't travel with it. But their travel mat is much thinner. So this is their travel mat. So as you can see, it's much thinner, and this thing, if you don't want to bring it in your like as a separate piece of luggage, this thing, you can just fold it up, which I absolutely love. We don't travel that much at the moment because we just bought a big house, but we used to travel a ton just like a year ago, and so you can kind of, this is not a very nice way of folding it, but you can see how easy it is to just fold it up, which I absolutely love. So if you're someone who likes to travel, or maybe you bring your yoga mat to work a lot, or you just need something that's more portable, I'd highly recommend their travel mat. I really, really, really love this because the grip is amazing. I tried this travel yoga mat from Amazon, and it was absolutely horrendous. It had no grip. It was foldable, but it was like almost like a blanket. And I personally, I love the grippiness. And so, yeah, the travel mat is absolutely amazing in my opinion. It's also a little bit cheaper. I think they're about $115 last time I checked. If you want the regular design, which this is just kind of their, there's no extra colors or anything on it. So if that is something that you're looking for, then yes, I would highly recommend the travel mat. Very portable, grip is awesome, and it's a little bit cheaper, still over $100. It's very expensive, but I personally think it's worth it. And if you're someone who travels a lot or needs something that's more portable, highly recommend this one. Okay, so on to something that I don't like. So while their grip is amazing, they lose their grip after about a year. So I don't know, I don't think they used to be like this, but as of 2 years ago, I got one of their yoga mats, and all of a sudden, about a year in, it just started to, it lost its grip, and it was super slippery, like to a point where it was almost dangerous. And I was so surprised, and so I reached out to my Instagram community, and I was like, why is this happening? I've had Liforme mats before, and they last forever. But apparently it's a thing where the grip just disappears after about a year, so they don't last super long. So for the price and then not lasting so long is absolutely horrendous, I think, personally. So for like price and what should I say, like longevity, I would probably give them like a 2 out of 5, because I think for an expensive yoga mat like that, not to last more than a year is pretty, that's not cool. So, and I don't know if it depends on the design that you get, because I had a yoga mat from them with just their plain design, and that thing lasted for at least 3 years, I think, and it was fine, and I practiced on it a lot. But then I got one of these super designed ones with all these different kind of colors, and they do some sort of overlay, and I wonder if that has something to do with it losing its grip, because it's a little bit different. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's one thing that I do not enjoy about them at all. Too expensive, and they lose their grip. Okay, and so now onto the designs. So I absolutely love their designs. They're super fun. They have all these crazy colors, pink and purple and green and yellow and orange. They have different themes. They have like this tiger mat, they have a dragon mat, they have all kinds of fun designs. And so I think the options, the color options, you can even customize your own mat, like I said, which I think if you're looking for, if you're someone who really likes color and all that, I think it's really, really fun, because I know a lot of the other big yoga brands, they have either just earth toned colors, you know, whereas I like pinks and I like kind of pastel-y colors and brighter colors. I am not a fan of like the teals and the oranges and the moss greens and all those, which I find that a lot of the other yoga brands that's what they tend to carry. So that's something I really appreciate with Liforme, is that they have so many different colors and kind of designs, which I think is really fun. I know some yoga mat brands, they only have one color and it's black, which, okay, that's great, but I personally I don't even own a single black mat. Actually, I do have an old travel mat that's black from Liforme, which I just retired, and it's now down in our gym to just act as like I don't even know what we use it for, but it's not something I exercise on anymore. But that was a great one, and that thing lasted me for probably 5 years. Absolutely amazing. So travel mats are awesome. Okay, then I wanted to mention, I don't know if you have seen these, but this is a yoga pad, which I also think is pretty unique to Liforme. And this yoga pad can be used for a few different things. For example, if you find that the regular yoga mat is still too thin and it kind of hurts your knee in low lunge and other poses like that, the yoga pad, you can place it on top of your yoga mat and it just gives it a little bit more cushioning. And if you are into handstands and things like that, it's really, really cool for that as well, because you can just put this little yoga pad in your purse if you are about to go out and do some handstands, or if you're on vacation. I love bringing the yoga pad and the travel mat on whenever we travel, so I can bring this and like do handstands in fun places for Instagram photos and stuff. And also it's a really good pad for if I only have my travel mat and I do something like a low lunge or some stretch that kind of hurts my knees, then it's a lifesaver to have this to pad the knees. You can even like pad it like a few times like this if you want even more support. So I just love it. It's portable. It gives a little bit more comfort on joints when you need it. It's also a little bit cheaper, still very expensive in the nice designs. I think the regular one is about $50 if you just want, again, this design. But if you want something that's a little bit more designy, colorful, whatever, then it's going to be, I think it's $80. So very expensive. Again, very expensive. They last pretty well. This is my second yoga pad. I had the purple one before and it just lost its grip last year, so I bought this one. And I had that for probably 3 or 4 years. So overall, really like the yoga pad. Super, super convenient if you have sensitive knees or if you're traveling a lot and the travel mat is a little bit too thin for you. And also if you do a lot of inversions and handstands and stuff, it's great to just bring with you, so you don't have to handstand on like asphalt or a graveled road or something like that, right? It's just a little bit nicer for your hands. And or for your feet, of course, if you're gonna do like a photo shoot in somewhere, and you're doing, standing poses, then it can be really nice for that as well. Another thing that I like with the Liforme yoga mats is that they come with these little yoga mat bags. So this is actually for the yoga pad. It's the most adorable little thing, but it's pretty convenient. You can just roll it up, put it in here, throw this in your purse, and then it comes with these yoga mat bags for the full size and the travel mats. So this is good if you're going to like a workout in the city or, going to like a workshop or an event or something. Again, I personally do not travel with these bags because I just find that if I'm getting on a plane, I have enough hand luggage as it is and I can't carry this as a separate piece. So they're not great for that. But if I'm just going to, a workshop or something local or driving, for example, going on a road trip, then these are great. They come with this little shoulder pad thing. They're still very heavy. So for me personally, it really hurts me to carry the yoga mat this way. So when we lived in Stockholm in Sweden, I went to classes in the city a lot, and I taught and stuff like that, and I would take the metro and I'd throw the bag on over my shoulder, and it would just dig in. I don't know, I feel like they're way too heavy. So that's another thing, like I don't like how heavy they are, but they're very sturdy and like thick and substantial, but it's just they're very heavy, so not liking that. Okay, so to summarize, I think if I had to give them a rating, I would give them probably a 4.5 out of 5, to be honest. I think that their grip is amazing. Their selection of colors and designs is super fun. I love that you get the bag, the carrying bags. I love that they have the travel mats, and I love that they have the yoga pads. I know that they also have now, I think, some extra large yoga mats as well, which I've never tried. But they have like a good selection of both colors and designs, but also based on purpose. Like if you do a lot of, for example, Barre or Pilates, or it might be nicer for you to have a larger mat so you have a larger surface to do your practice on. I also love their grip. Absolutely love their grip. It's unmatched. I've never had a yoga mat like this before that has this good grip. But I don't like that the grip wears out after a year, about a year. They only last for about a year, and they are very expensive. So I would take half a star off just for that reason. They're too expensive, and the longevity, like they don't last very long. And they talk about how they're supposedly, you know, sustainability and all that is so important, but then you really... you should have a product that lasts longer than 1 year, so people don't have to get rid of their yoga mats every year. They do work really well for other things though. Like I mentioned, all of my old Liforme mats are in our basement gym, and we use them, like one is sitting under our Peloton, one we used for, we had our dumbbells on it for a while before our dumbbell rack came in, and so you can reuse it for other purposes once it's like done. Try not to throw it out, but it's just for someone who moves as much as I do, I really would prefer something that lasts longer than 1 year. Oh, and another thing that I do want to mention is that it does attract a lot of lotions, and if you're wearing any lotions or oils or anything, it'll stain the mat, which I personally, I don't really care, because that's just how I have lotions and oils on all the time, but they do specifically say that as well, like don't put that on before you practice on it, but that's just, you know, I do that anyway. But my mats look kind of crazy just because, yesterday I had coconut oil in my hair, and it's like all on here now. So that would be one thing. If you're looking for something that doesn't attract everything, then it might not be a good mat for you. I'll show you a close-up here of my white one as well, where this one though has been through the ringer, and it actually lost its grip, so I don't use it anymore. But it has, as you can see here, it's pretty stained. It did, however, live in America twice and lived in Europe once, so it's been around the world, so it's okay. But yeah, so that's another thing to mention, like for that price, and they get dirty immediately. They attract kind of dirt and grime and like oils and all that. It just sucks it up. And then they don't last very long. So those would be like some of the negative things. But I think they make up for it with the grip, the great selection of colors and designs, and the selection of different like yoga pads and travel mats and all that kind of stuff. And it's also nice that you always get a yoga mat carrying bag with it. So yeah, that is my honest review. That's exactly how I feel about Liforme yoga mats. This is not sponsored. Maybe one day they will, I wish. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions at all, and if you have any comments, and if you have a Liforme mat and what you think about it, and what your opinions are, and if there's anything I missed, either that you love or that you don't like about it, please put it in the comments below so we can help other people as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, and please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful so other people can find it as well. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye.